Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Mayor and Board of Trustees for the Village of Burr Ridge. Today is March 27th. Our first order of business is the call to a Pledge of Allegiance, and tonight we're going to be led by Miss Sophia and Mr. McLean Zeke of St. John of the Cross School. Now, according to their mom, Julie, they are very excited to lead the Pledge of Allegiance today. Now, Sophia is 11 years old in 5th grade. Her favorite subject in school is language arts. Outside activities include things like tennis, Italian lessons, and theater. Hobbies include making slime and dancing. Not quite sure how they go together, but she loves everything involving arts and crafts. Special skills include singing and writing poetry. And her pets, only one little white Maltese dog named Madeline. Now, McLean, he's 9 years old, in 3rd grade. And his favorite subject is math. He's actually a math whiz. And outside activities include basketball, tennis, and also Italian lessons. Hobbies include playing video games with friends, loves the Rubik's Cube, pets, same as Sophia, just little Madeline. Well, again, thank you for this wonderful opportunity for them to be here. And according to their mother, they're both very honored to be here, and we are very honored to have them lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thanks again. Karen, may I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Franchise.
Here.
Trustee Grasso. Trustee Pavesa.
Here.
Trustee Bolas.
Here.
Trustee Schiappa. Mayor Straub.
Here. Now, our first order of business is a consideration of the recommendation by myself to appoint Joseph T. Snyder to fill the unexpired term of former trustee Paula Murphy. And I'd like to now conduct the swearing-in ceremony. Joe, may I ask you to come?
We have to have a motion first.
So moved.
Oh, I'm sorry, duh.
Second.
Why is it here? Okay. Let's go for it.
Consideration of recommendation first. We have a motion and a second.
Yeah.
Okay, motion second. A roll call, please.
Trustee Bolas.
Yes.
Trustee Pavesa.
Yes.
Trustee Franchise.
Yes.
Mayor Straub.
Yes.
Now yours.
Sorry, I was just so excited there. Everybody probably should bring my reading glasses too, but, okay. You, Joseph T. Snyder, solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of trustee of the Village of Burr Ridge. Congratulations.
Nikki. Got a picture with your name.
Welcome aboard.
Yes,
You want to take a picture first?
sure.
Picture?
Take a picture.
Okay. Pardon me, I don't do this every day. You know, this is actually the first, I don't feel. Okay, here's your call.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Joe. You're right.
Okay, now the residents' comments section. Are there any residents who would like to address the board at this time? Okay, seeing no one. We'll move to the consent agenda. The consent agenda is otherwise known as the omnibus vote. Now, all items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member or citizen so request, in which event the item will be removed. Under minutes, we have 5A, approval of regular board meeting of March 13th, 2017. B, receive and file draft Scavenger Franchise Agreement Subcommittee meeting of March 13th, 2017. C, approval of draft fiscal year 2017 and 18 budget workshop of March 13th, 2017. D, approval of a special board meeting of March 14th, 2017. E, receive and file a draft water committee meeting of March 20th, 2017. Under F, we have receive and file draft Scavenger Franchise Agreement Subcommittee meeting of March 20th, 2017. Under ordinances, we have nothing, and under resolutions, we have nothing. Under considerations, we have 8B, approval of recommendation to award contract for village-wide landscape maintenance. C, approval of vendor list in the amount of $94,544.44 for all funds, plus $206,724.52 for payroll, for a grand total of $301,268.96, which includes a special expenditure of $23,833 to Desiderio Landscaping for parkway tree removal and stump grinding. May I have a motion to approve the following items on the consent agenda? We have 5A, B, C, D, E, and F. Under resolutions, under considerations, we have 8B and C. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Francis?
Yes.
Trustee Snyder?
Yes.
Trustee Wallace?
Yes.
Trustee Pavesa?
Yes.
4-0.
Okay, under considerations, we have 8A, consideration of Plan Commission recommendation to approve variations to accommodate the expansion of an office building parking lot to permit parking to be located 60 feet from the front lot line rather than 79.76 feet, and to permit additional parking between the building and the corner side lot line, north line along South Frontage Road. That's VO1 2017, located at 1333 Burr Ridge Parkway in Insight Real Estate, otherwise known as the McGraw Hill Building.
Thank you. You have a letter from the petitioner asking for a continuance to the April 10th meeting. We did try to get the word out amongst the neighbors, so hopefully that word got spread around, but they are asking for a continuance to April 10th.
Asking for continuance again? Okay. Any
Need a motion?
motion to continue it?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to table it till the next meeting, April 10th.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Pavesa?
Yes.
Trustee Francis?
Yes.
Trustee Wallace?
Yes.
Trustee Snyder?
Yes.
4-0.
Okay, 4-0. And under other considerations for announcement, deliberation, and/or discussion only?
I have something. I would like to have the ordinance that we approved at the last meeting for parking restrictions on Steeple side reconsidered and tabled indefinitely. I think, go ahead. Were we? Yes. Yes. We need to have that reconsidered and tabled indefinitely. I think the homeowner and the church have been, had discussions, and I think Steve can give you some detail on that.
Yes, well, my understanding, Mrs. Kinsey is here. I've had an opportunity to speak to her. She has been working, she has been working with the pastor of the church. I think they've come to an understanding to work out a program to eliminate the parking there without putting the parking signs up. We're going to give it a few months, see how it goes. And I know Ms. Kinsey will have asked her to be patient with the church as they make that announcement and try to get all their church members to understand the new protocol. Hopefully it will work out and everything will be as as Ms. Kinsey would like to see them and as a church would like to see them. So with that in mind, I think a motion for reconsideration is in order, and as I indicated, we'll keep an eye on it.
Do we need to vote on this? Or?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I move that the ordinance, the no parking restriction on steepleside ordinance be reconsidered.
Second.
And tabled indefinitely.
And tabled indefinitely, yes, thank you.
Any further discussion? Comments? Okay. Roll call, please.
Trustee Bolus?
Yes.
Trustee Baveza? Yes. Trustee Francis?
Yes.
Trustee Snyder?
Yes.
4-0.
Okay, thank you. We have another section for residents' comments. Any residents who would like to address the board this time?
Wondering if you could introduce the new trustee, or maybe he has something to say. I'd be curious to know a little about.
There's been a request by a resident to have to introduce the new trustee and to perhaps have him introduce himself to the village. And as I mentioned during the swearing-in ceremony, his name is Joseph T. Snyder. And I will let him give a little bit of an introduction or background.
My name's Joe Snyder, live in Burr Ridge for 30 years over on Lake Ridge. I own a business in Darien for the last 38 years. All my children went through the local areas here. We went to St. John and the Cross. 3 went to St. Ignatius. 1 went to Hinsdale South. They went to college, etc. I live still on 81st Street over in Lake Ridge. Enjoy being in Burr Ridge. I find the community is terrific. A lot of the local businesses I partake in on a regular basis. I approached or turned in an application to run for a trustee, etc., and I got my name. Luckily, I was called. You're welcome.
Welcome. Okay. All right.
Just a comment, the board interviewed other people for the position of trustee, and the whole board was at the interviews, and it was decided that the current person that we swore in today was the unanimous approval of the board, not a unanimous, but the majority approval of the board that was so related to the mayor.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Any other residents like to address the board this time? Reports and communications from village officials?
You know, I should mention, Guy, I think we should take the opportunity to mention that our Scavenger Franchise Agreement Subcommittee has been very, very busy last few weeks. We have received 6 proposals from our RFP that we sent out. We have a very, very good best and low offer from Groot Industries in the amount of $16.85 per month for unlimited garbage. That's unlimited refuge, recycling, and landscape waste at no additional cost. The committee has found that to be an exciting and interesting proposition and would like to move forward, and we'll be meeting with homeowner association representatives next week. Or is it next week already? Is it April 5th? And letters have gone out to them indicating that we'd like to get their input. And we're meeting with the homeowner associations first for the reason that they have existing contracts, or many have existing contracts. We'd like to get their input in terms of what they think about this price, how does it compare to their existing contract. And we do have a provision in our RFP, which we'll have in the contract, which will allow homeowner associations to opt out if they feel that the price that we're providing them is still higher than what they're getting now, and continue to allow them the opt-out process. Of course, once they opt back in, they won't be allowed out again, but we will give them that one-time option to do so. And then we have meetings scheduled with residents, and the letters will probably go out at the beginning of next week, and that's scheduled for Wednesday, April 12th, and Thursday, April 20th, here at the Village Hall, to solicit, make a presentation, to discuss the proposal, and to solicit input in regard to the proposal that we have received. And based on that, the committee will absorb all that, take it all in, and ultimately make a final recommendation to the village board, which we believe could come as early as the first meeting in May. And that'll give us time to prepare necessary contracts and so forth if it's decided that we would recommend, if the committee decided to recommend to go forward. And if everything comes to be that this is the decision that the board would like to make, we believe that this whole process can begin, and this new program can begin on August the 1st. Okay? So that's kind of the timeline that we're looking at. And obviously, we want to get the input. And even though it is a very exciting program in terms of the price, which I think is going to be very attractive to the majority of residents. It's never over till it's over, and we're not presupposing anything. I believe on the committee, we want to hear from residents, but assuming that's the timeline, you'll be hearing from us, I believe, one way or the other on the first meeting in May. So, Guy.
If I could add to that, the subcommittee, Trustee Schiappa, Trustee Pavesa, former Trustee Murphy, and myself have been working on this for the better part of a year. And prior to going out for proposal, prior to preparing a proposal, we spoke with several waste haulers for their ideas and their insight as to how they handle the business in other communities that surround us. And we distilled all of that into a proposal, sent it out, received 6 quality responses from waste haulers in the area, and a bit of analysis was performed, and surfaced to the top as the best proposal that would serve the residents of the village in the best possible way. So we're taking the next steps forward to speak to the Homeowners Association representatives. They in turn can talk to their neighbors and friends and so forth, and then have 2 open public meetings with the residents at large, and disseminate the information to them so they have an understanding where we're going forward, where and how, if we were to go forward with this. So that's our plan, and so far it's been very eye-opening, and we feel we can save the residents some money. We can reduce the wear and tear on our roads, improve the safety on our roads with less trucks, and be offered by this waste hauler more available, readily available recycling options. So that's it in a nutshell.
So when do you expect the town hall type meeting or village-wide meeting to be?
April 5th for the Homeowners Association representatives, and April 12th and 20th for the residents at large.
Steve, you had a price in your admin memo. I looked on the website. There was a price per month. Does that include the cost of the can, the rental of the can?
Yes.
Yes.
It does.
And there's no hidden charges, there's no administrative fees, no recycling fees, no fuel surcharges, no environmental fees, all those all those junk fees that appear on your bill and that drive the price up. Those will be gone, and the price will be locked in for a 3-year period. There'll be incremental raises, 3% incremental raises for the 2nd year and the 3rd year, but those prices are locked in, regardless of what occurs in the environment, or with the price of oil, or the price of disposing of refuse.
I thank the committee for all their work, and regardless how I feel on the issue one way or the other, you guys have done a lot of work, and thank you for all your time and effort.
Thank you.
I also would say I commend you guys for taking the time and the effort.
Yes, thank you as well. And more on that later, but I look forward to that. I'm sure the residents would like to get additional information as those meetings progress. I have one more thing I'd like to mention. I'm going to actually ask the chief to assist me on, and I probably should have asked him ahead of time. But the chief and I went to a very special ceremony this morning that's held in Burr Ridge. I would like to have the chief explain a little bit about the organization. It's called COPS, and it's every year or 2 they have a training program to train both officers as well as people that have been affected, the police survivors. And it was chosen to be in Burr Ridge. We have a record of almost like 200 people sign up for this. And it kicked off at CNH Industrials. They were kind enough to make their facility available. And it's just an incredible organization that brought tears to my eyes, some of the things that they're talking about over there. But I'd like to have the chief explain a little more about the ceremony and actually about the organization.
It's concerns of police survivors, cops, and it's a nationwide organization. They have chapters in every state. And their primary goal is to take care of the families who survive after losing a loved one who was a law enforcement officer. We were involved with this approximately 11 years ago. We had an officer named John Walsh that used to work for us. He was with us about 2 years and then went over to Joliet Police Department. And while he was at the Joliet Police Department, about a year and a half in, he was involved in a fatal traffic accident responding to an in-progress call. So that's where my first exposure to cops came in, was the Walsh family who was there today. They did a lot for the Walsh family, and it helps them survive that loss. It's a great organization. We're involved with them on a yearly basis for different charity events that we assist with. And today, and for the next 2 days, they're conducting their Traumas in Law Enforcement seminar, in which they bring in professionals over to 3 days. And we've got about 200 attendees. Probably 80% of them, maybe more, are law enforcement officers who are learning they're involved in different training sessions. They have trained psychologists there just to look for warning signs, for police suicide awareness, and so on, and how to help the families survive a loss. So great organization. CNH Industrial stepped up. We had 150 we were capped at the Burr Ridge Park District, and we had 50 on a waiting list, and so CNH was grateful enough to give us their meeting room, which accommodate well over 200. And then they wanted to go above and beyond, and they're feeding everybody for the next 3 days. They're feeding them lunch, and we have many different sponsors, Kirsten's, Falco's, different businesses in town who are also sponsoring and providing food. Everybody's really happy with Dove Bar ice cream. They brought in a couple crates of ice cream. So my wife is attending the seminar, and so she said that was a big hit, the ice cream. So, and thank you for your attendance this morning. It was great to have you there to kick it off.
It was an honor to be there, and I also got the this little bracelet that was made by a couple of young girls who were involved, and they made all 200 of them. Was this every time they have a
I'm not sure. They made those by hand, so that's.
Wow.
Pardon me?
Those two girls made all of the bracelets by hand. So that was. I'm not sure if they do that every year, but.
Well, I thought the village would like to know.
It was an
about
honor
that.
to have them.
It was just kind of last minute that I had heard about it last week. The governor was trying to get there to be there for the kickoff today, but that was not possible. But it was an honor to be there, and it's great to have them in Burr Ridge and CNH Industrials. With all they've done for the community, it's no surprise that they received the Community Appreciation Award just recently at our Economic Development Business Appreciation Breakfast. They've done so much for us and for the village, and continue to do so. But thank you, Chief. Appreciate it. Okay, moving on. Any non-residents comments section? Okay, then. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Bolus?
Yes.
Trustee Baveza?
Yes.
Trustee Francis?
Yes.
Trustee Snyder? Yes. 4-0.
Well, this meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you again, Joe Snyder, for joining the board. And we are now going into a closed session for the I'm sorry. I'm opening up another meeting for the budget workshop. That'll be for the next hour or two, so you're welcome to stick around and join us.
Yeah, you got